Okay, hey, we're here in Chicago at Odd Obsessions talking to Marc Wilkinson.
That's me.
Yeah.
Hi. So, Marc, you're not only a director, but you're a writer, a producer, actor, right?
Sometimes. Yeah, I do a lot of everything. Yeah, for sure.
And are you originally from Chicago?
I'm from Ottawa, Illinois, so about 90 miles southwest, out by Starved Rock State Park, middle of the state area.
Cool. So you're from the state.
Right. Yeah, I'm from nearby.
And did you go to film school?
Yeah, I went to Columbia College here. So yeah, after high school, I lived here for 4 years while I went there, and then I did their semester in Los Angeles program to kind of segue to LA life, and then I did 3 years living out in LA. And then came back here, and I've been here for another 3 or 4 since then.
Oh, awesome. And you worked on a few things while you were in LA too. Were they mainly student films, or?
No, yeah, I worked on a bunch. I mean, I started doing like some background work and PA work on some bigger things, which was nice. But then I did my first feature while I was out there. So I went out there as like a screenwriter, trying to like sell scripts and get scripts, and I kept getting work. Doing background acting or editing or working in video stores, random other things, but I wasn't selling any scripts. And I finally got to the point where I was like, well, I'm in LA. I have so many actors that I know out here. There's so many beautiful locations. I didn't have any money, but I wrote something that I knew I had the people for, I knew I had the locations for, and yeah, we made our first little feature out there. So we just shot on weekends for a whole summer and made a good little LA-centric movie called Sunset Rock.
Sunset Rock, which I think we have here at the video store. We were looking for it.
Yeah, we it must be in high demand because we couldn't find it. It is also on Amazon Prime as of this week, too. That just went up there. So if you've got Prime, you can watch it. If you like DVDs, come down to Odd Obsession.
Prime for sure. Yeah, maybe we'll put a link in the thing. So after that, I know you worked on a lot of music videos and you did quite a few commercials before moving on to doing other features and some more shorts. Maybe could we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I did a lot of music videos. I worked with the band of Terratail for a few times and did a few of their music videos, which they're kind of a local band, which is nice. And yeah, I've done a few short films. I did a short film called The October Crisis that played in festivals around here. That was like my big thesis end of college project. And then I did a spec pilot / short film called Autumn Bluffs a few years ago that is like a knockoff of 90s teen dramas like Dawson's Creek,
right, Degrassi,
Friday Night Lights, Degrassi, that sort of thing, but made as poorly as possible.
Right.
You know?
No, I got a kick out of that because it's like put together as if it was like a long lost TV show, right?
Right, yeah. I didn't, when we were promoting it, I only promoted it as like, oh, I found my VCR in my attic and it had like the pilot from 96. Does anybody remember Autumn Bluffs? And everyone's like, no, we've never heard of this show. What is this? I'm like, oh, well, I'll record it and post it. And of course, it was just something we had made, but aged it up to look really terrible and VHS-like. But just so much fun to make because we just got everybody to overact. We got people in their 30s to play teenagers or hitting people in the head with the boom pole. And
no, I saw that. Yeah, definitely a boom in like the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, in almost every shot. Yeah. It was fun to just go against the grain for a while. But then after that, it was back to trying to make real things. So that's when we made our second feature, Honeycrisp, which is the one we've just recently released on DVD.
Right, which I just saw. Let me grab it real quick. It's on the new release shelf. I'll show it to everybody in TV land. So let me see if we get a good shot of that. No, maybe can we play a trailer of it real quick from the movie? Okay, cool. And actually, can we play a trailer from Autumn?
Absolutely. Yeah. Autumn Bluffs.
Autumn Bluffs, right.
Autumn Bluffs is actually on there as a special feature.
Oh,
so
okay.
The whole first episode.
So if you come to Odd Obsessions and rent it, you'll get 2 for 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, watch Autumn Bluffs, watch Honeycrisp.
Okay. Let's watch those real quick.
Yeah. Is it real?
Hell yeah, it's real. This thing's heavy as shit.
Dude, this is so cool. Seriously though, please stop touching it because you're gonna cut yourself. There's gonna be blood, and if there's blood, there's sharks.
It's a lake, Greta.
Doesn't matter. Sharks will find you. Thought maybe we could do some sisterly bonding.
Okay, yeah, but we're up here for a very specific reason. We have a lot of work to do. I don't think sisterly bonding is going to be happening.
But it doesn't matter because I'm not dating him anymore. And I was not engaged to him. I had no plans on getting married to him because he shit on my sweaters, okay?
I want to take the boat out. Get up. get in the boat. We'll go to like Hot Top. You want to get in the boat and go to Hot Top?
No.
Wow, there's like literally nothing up here.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Please.
You so do.
Okay,
You're
just
so
because,
into
just because it's on while I'm in the room. This place is not what it seems. Why do you have multiple copies of Armageddon?
I don't know.
Your inability to at least attempt to forgive me is kind of disturbing.
If you fuck him, the entire weekend's ruined.
I know.
You know there's no part of me that trusts you, right?
You're gross. Your beard is gross too.
We can't get along. We can't be in the same room without fighting. That is so not true.
You can have it by yourself. I'm going home.
Clearly, you two are going through something here.
That's not how this works. No.
So you can watch it and tell me what it's like.
This is just another copy of Armageddon.
All new this fall on Channel 13. Welcome to a quiet town where four best friends are about to learn
Why don't we do things different for once? I mean, we are going to be starting high school here pretty soon.
Just what are you pontificating on now, Rashawn?
that growing up might be more than they bargained for,
So, here we are, first day of high school.
where emotions run high and nothing is as it seems.
Just because we very recently started high school and are now teens, it doesn't mean anything has to change.
Starring Ryan Matthew Ziegler as 14-year-old Sean
I didn't mean to hurt you. You're my best friend. I would never do that.
and Melissa Conway as Ariane, the girl next door.
You're my best friend too, and I also would never do anything to hurt you.
See the love, the friendships, and the monsters of autumn. Wait, there's monsters.
Why don't you ask your father?
It isn't true, son. The series that defined a generation from the town where it's always fall. Why is it always fall?
Are you teens ready for the big pigskin game?
I'm interested in arcane magic and heavy metal music.
It's about fighting for the ones you love. Even if that means literally.
We really are just kids after all.
Suburban Skies Pictures welcomes you back to the home you could never truly leave.
Who do you choose?
Welcome to Autumn Bluffs. What the f*** is this show about?
Yeah, so we're back and we're going to watch a couple of music videos now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love doing music videos. You know, I grew up wanting to be a rock star. I played piano for 20 years now. So, like, I've always had music kind of flowing through me, but never good enough to be my own musician. So making music videos has just always been fun, getting to work with bands, doing live performance stuff, editing that together, like finding the rhythm in a good edit and helping bands that I enjoy, too. I love to, like, find artists in the area, local, like, on the rise artists and kind of team up with them and execute something cool that's both their vision and my vision. So it's fun.
Cool. Can you introduce the newest one? I know you shot it here in Chicago.
Yeah, we just did a music video for a band called Scout Ripley that is a local Chicago band, and we shot it over here in Southport at a bowling alley called Southport Lanes.
I've been there before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's great. Yeah. Old manual style bowling. There's a guy down there setting up your pins and rolling the ball back to you. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So we shot that recently, had a lot of fun with that band, and that's our newest one. So we can watch that now.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Better in theory than present company.
Okay, and we're back, and we're going to watch another music video. And this one's a little older. It's a couple of...
Yeah. This was out in L.A. This one's kind of fun because it was right before we shot Sunset Rock too, and we knew working with the artist and his management that they wanted to incorporate a lot of like LA iconic spots. We wanted to like shoot at the pier and on the Hollywood Walk and things, and it ended up kind of just being a location scout for my feature because my assistant on that was Megan Boehm, who ended up being the star of Sunset Rock. So we were doing a lot of running around LA, gauging what places looked nice at the right times, and she was standing in for test shots. And I was like, oh, we should just do this as the movie. But the music video ended up being a lot of fun too. Galen is a super amazing musician, was great to work with, and yeah, that one's more performance based, but it pops all around LA. We're up on rooftops downtown, we're out on the pier, and yeah, it was fun to put together.
It sounds great. Yeah, maybe we'll put the music video and the trailer for Sunset Rock back to back, and that would be a cool experience,
Right,
I think.
Yeah, get that whole LA experience.
Okay, cool. Yeah, check it out.
Shattered dreams, worthless years. Here am I encased inside a hollow shell. Life began, then was done. Now I stare into a cold and empty well. The many sounds that meet our ears, the sights our eyes behold, will open up our merging hearts and feed our empty souls. I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. I believe when I fall in love this time, it will be forever. Without despair, we will share, and the joys of caring will not be replaced. What has been must never end, and with the strength we have won't be erased. When the truths of love are planted firm, they won't be hard to find. And the words of love I speak to you will echo in my mind. Yeah, I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. I believe when I fall in love this time, it will be forever. Oh, I'm really begging in here, man. Let's do a reggae style, come on now. I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. I believe when I fall in love this time, it will be forever. I believe, when I fall in love with you, it's gonna be forever. I believe when I fall in love this time, it will be forever. And you will be my answer, and you will be my answer, and you will be my answer, and you will be my answer.
started watching Tyler Oakley, and then got into the Green Brothers, found Daily Grace through them somehow. And like, their lives are just so interesting.
And then you found me.
Temperature's dropping, the temperature is dropping, and the ground is going to frost. The sun is hiding, the sun is hiding.
Lincoln!
And the ground
Lincoln, what's going on?
Jesus Christ, is that what this is about?
But I do like you.
You don't know me!
The glacier's coming, the glacier is coming, and when she comes, she will change everything. And when she comes, you just might hear me sing that everything's transforming all the time.
You're kind of an asshole. You know that, right? Yeah, you don't treat people
From
good.
the waters we swim to, the hills that we climb, and everything's transforming all the time.
I don't give a shit about things.
You have the idea who I am?
This is actually good. People are gonna want to watch this.
You sound surprised.
All right, we're back and we're going to talk. We just saw the trailer for Sunset Rock, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. You mentioned before that the music video we just saw before that was sort of like a scouting exercise for this movie, and well, yeah, let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely helped kind of inspire some of our locations and just starting to put visuals together and realizing how we could get away with shooting some things in public without needing all of the permits and all of the things that went along with it. Around that time, that movie, what was it called? Escape from Tomorrow, I think, was the Disney one that came out, and I was really blown away by that. I saw that in LA, and I was like, oh, people can just run around with a DSLR and make a movie and like do it and use real people, almost mixing documentary and a narrative film together. Do something on the cheap like that, but still have a lot of creativity behind it. So that inspired it. I had been being a vlogger and like tried to vlog my whole first year in Los Angeles, making little webisodes for YouTube, and that experience of trying to have an online persona definitely inspired it. And then I was working at a big casting company where I was interfacing with a lot of actors, but like felt like my job had kind of like plateaued off, and that kind of inspired where one of the characters worked, and I just ended up throwing all of those things together. And it's like, all right, what's something very now of our time, has to do with the internet generation, has to do with this LA experience, and it all came together in a really natural way. The theme of the movie ends up being about the way people perceive each other online and how they have this romanticized idea of a person versus how complicated and gritty and real a person is, and how that is such a perfect mirror for Hollywood, and how people have this perfect, like, oh, glitz and glamour in Hollywood. And of course, when you get out there, it's mostly smog check shops and, just a lot of roughness and highways. So yeah, it's about romanticization and disillusionment and the internet age and YouTube era and acting in Hollywood.
Yeah, especially that. I think you've really captured something because, like, I'm really into YouTube stuff. I think a lot of people are, but like, that kind of like a narrative crossover to like a big Hollywood movie. I feel like it's never really been handled properly, or like if it has been attempted, it's been attempted by people who have no experience.
Right. It's so current. It's so something of like now and of our young generation. There's a film out this week called 8th Grade by Bo Burnham that I feel like is the first like mainstream film to get at like people that have grown up with YouTube as like their thing to teach them things, and like people relationships with like YouTube celebrities. And like the film is definitely not meant to be a knock on any of that. Like I grew up with that. I love that. You know, I think that's important, and I think people that see those people as celebrities and like are parts of fandoms, you know, it's not a knock on any of that. I identify with all of that, but it's also trying to deconstruct a little bit of that and being like, what is behind this? And, you know, once you pull away the facade of like, you know, something that gets said in that movie a lot is like celebrities are just people, and that is also true for other people and places and things. You know, you can't put everything up on a pedestal. I'm just rambling.
No, that's good.
Watch the film. I don't know why I'm trying to summarize the entire movie and its themes. It's on Amazon.
I feel like that was a good summary without giving away too much of what's going to happen.
Hopefully, yeah. There's some jokes in there. There's a lot of sunsets in there. There's a lot of my friends in there. I'm in there for a couple seconds being an asshole. So that's
speaking of that, I wanted to talk about this. While you were in L.A., you did a lot of background work, right?
I did. Yeah.
The one I was kind of super excited about seeing is you're in an episode of Ray Donovan.
I am in an episode of Ray Donovan.
I love that show.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I've never actually watched it. That was one that was definitely a gig for me. It's got to be like the first or second season. I had like heard the name of the show, but was not familiar with it at all. But just fit whatever the casting call was that they needed, and was free at that time, and was hard up for some cash. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And years later, I ended up going back and looking for it, and you can see me very clearly behind what's his last name? Leif Schreiber. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. People like this. People enjoy the show, so that's fun. Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch it because I'm not current on the newest season, but I love the first two seasons. They're great.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what episode it is, but for some reason he's in an airport and he's waiting to pick up his baggage, and I'm just standing behind him waiting for my bags. And yeah. I like doing background work. I still do it sometimes, even though I'm pretty busy directing and doing all sorts of other stuff. I'm not as hard up for the background money as I was before, but I go there and I like to spy on the other filmmakers. Like, what cameras are they using? How do they interact with their crew? You know, who are the other actors on this that I might be able to steal and put on my thing? So, and then I just steal all the craft services.
Well, that's what we're all really there for.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's just for the food. Yeah, I take handfuls of their craft services, and then when I have my set, it's like, oh, Mark, you have such a spread. It's like, yeah, well, Empire had a spread, and now we do.
Do you have any favorite background work experiences, or like anything that really stands out?
Well, I mean, also when I was in LA, I was in a movie called Don John, which was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's. He directed it. He had wrote it and directed it and stars in it. And Scarlett Johansson and Julianne Moore are in the film too. And I did 4 days of background on that. 4 nights that we shot all overnights. I was in club scenes and his like night school scenes. And that was fun because like he's just such a pure like actual sweetheart. Like the persona you imagine for Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that one is correct. Like he's just such a nice dude. He was directing, he was acting. We were shooting overnights. He should have been exhausted. Like every night after filming, he would come back to extras holding and just sign autographs, take pictures with people, do a little Q&A, and like he was great. And yeah, I got to watch him direct Scarlett Johansson and Julianne Moore. So, you know, I didn't even want to get paid for that. It's like this experience is enough. This is beautiful. So yeah, that was a cool highlight. And definitely like doing just background work gave me that bug of being like, oh, I want to act again. Like I love being behind camera, but I was in theater in high school and have done small parts in other people's films. It's like, oh, I need to get more into that. So I've been trying to do that a little bit more too in the recent years.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of fun, especially when you're hanging out with that caliber of like,
right.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, we're not buds, but you know, yeah, but it was nice.
Well, and in some ways, like your kind of newest effort is about making movies. It's like, it takes place in the 90s, right? Or
yeah. Room to Believe. Yeah, so Room to Believe is somewhat autobiographical of like my first couple years out there in LA. Kind of restructured and de-aged a little bit. It's about teenage filmmakers in the 90s. They're part of like a special film program. What they think is going to be a very special film program. They're brought together to this weird small town to make movies, and then once they get there, realize the program has no money, it's all disorganized, it's all horrible, there's no gear, and almost everybody quits immediately, except for these few people who are kind of like the Breakfast Club scallywags, have nowhere else to go, nothing else to do with their summer, so they kind of band together and live in one dingy little house and like try to pull together a little science fiction film, and of course, you know, not everything goes according to plan. and I had a lot to draw from there, from various filmmaking experiences growing up in the 90s. But yeah, that one, that was a lot of fun to do. So I wrote that out as a feature originally, and I'm hoping someday to still like get a fully produced feature of that going. But we shot, the short film version of it I guess it was last October. And it ended up being a huge production. The short film itself is still probably going to end up being a half-hour sort of film, but it still takes place over the course of a whole summer in the 90s. So there's so many locations and so much set dressing. It ended up feeling like we were shooting a whole feature. But I'm really happy with how that's turning out. The trailer for that just came out recently, and we're just wrapping up post-production on that now.
Cool. Yeah, we'll take a look at the trailer because I thought it was.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really. We've got some good response to that trailer, and yeah, let's check it out. Yeah.
I knew better than to picture you thriving here. But this is beyond expectation.
I'm writing.
Picture of Saturn and the word ideas written in bubble letters. Wait, that's writing?
First one's actually just a coffee stain.
Good job, Aaron.
Moved out west, away.
Exposition is the fuel. You gotta fill it up and you light that shit on fire.
In the frosty winter.
Why is not falling in love?
Something's coming to kill us.
Is everyone here on drugs except me? Which I need to focus on one thing.
You gotta be good at everything if you want to get paid.
This program has no money. There is no classroom. No one can find the equipment.
I'm not really picking up any sound.
And you want us to make an entire movie using what? Our stipend?
Oh, no. There's no stipend.
It's sort of terrifying.
It's beautiful.
What are you thinking of now?
How much I want to kiss you again. You know, I started the summer thinking I was like the best at this filmmaking crap, and now I think I might be the absolute worst.
The better you get, the dumber you're going to feel. It sucks, but it doesn't mean anything.
I thought we were friends.
The movie's over, man.
What did we do to deserve this?
That's the worst part, isn't it? If we all looked, we would have seen this coming from a mile away.
So that's it? I won't get a say in it?
No, you don't.
What would you say the highlight of this program has been?
You know that I'm the one that you can't afford. Waiting for the fire to dissipate.
Because she's hot. You must see this.
He is, right?
You boners know we can all hear you.
Waiting for the fire to dissipate. When you are too in love with what is supposed to be sorry.
Let's just get out of here.
Really?
You're gonna finish this movie, and then what? There's nothing left for you here.
There is not a denomination in any currency in the world that would be enough for me to do this bullshit again.
All right, guys. Do it again.
So Suburban Skies is your own kind of like production house slash.
It's like my personal brand for filmmaking. I call it a collective. It's just. I try to work with the same people as many times as I can, and I try to make it as much of a fun and collaborative process as I can. So I work with a lot of the same people as actors, and then behind the camera, and sometimes we switch roles, and sometimes they have the genesis of a project that I'll jump onto, but a lot of times I'm kind of acting as writer, director, and people are jumping around in different parts. But we try to keep it really collaborative, really fun, and everybody's just trying to lift each other's careers up. So we set up a little website, which is just suburbanskiespictures.com, and it's the same on Instagram and Facebook, and we share all of our trailers, and we do kind of open casting calls a lot if we need actors for things, to kind of try to share resources and promote each other's work.
Cool. And can you talk about like the genesis of that coming to fruition? Like, how is that particular? Because like you've been putting out most of your work through Suburban Skies recently, right? How did that start?
Just needing to have an outlet for things, I think, was most of it. Just wanting to have like a singular brand and a single kind of like place that we could promote and push things and self-distribute things out into the world, and realizing like through online, through being able to make your own media, through, you know, websites and social media, you know, you could do so much of that yourself. You don't necessarily need to be aligned with like a real distributor or a real like big production company. We're like rather start building our brand now and like hope to elevate that in the future. So we definitely, you know, make some of our money through doing commercials and music video gigs, but a lot of it is just doing passion projects.
Right. And that sort of like led to the Case Files show, right?
No, I would say they're pretty separate.
They're completely separate? Okay.
Yeah. So Suburban Skies is pretty much anything that's like narrative, creative video work, and then any of like true crime documentary type stuff is through Case Files. So the company that produces Case Files is Hale Media, and I'm technically an employee of that company, but I'm running the Case Files show now, which is the main thing that we make. I started out there as an assistant editor in 2015, and now I direct that show, which is fun. Just that I get to direct as my full-time job, you know, for so long, and so many filmmakers coming out of film school like have to do so many other things, and I know I did a lot, and you can't pursue your passion full-time, so I feel really fortunate that I get to actually like go to the office and like work on directing during the day, and now there is crossover since then with Suburban Skies too, because so many people that I've met working on that show, actors, crew people, we all get talking and we're like, well, we do this, but like we really want to do other stories, other more narrative things, other creative things, and we ended up, you know, collaborating a lot, working on each other's projects. So like the editor and cinematographer from that show I work with a lot. The guy that does the casting for that show now does a lot of my casting. So they've started to merge into one thing. But yeah, that's all true crime. So Case Files, I don't know if people have seen Case Files Chicago. It airs on the CW here in Chicago every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And it's a true crime show, kind of like First 48 or America's Most Wanted type show, but just for unsolved actual Chicago homicides. So we work with Chicago FBI, Chicago Police Department, other law justice agencies in the area, and we find true crimes that need help, need people to call in with tips, and we interview detectives, interview families that have, you know, lost somebody, usually to gun violence, and then do reenactments and do walkthroughs on the crime scenes and that sort of stuff, and put together an episode for it's a new episode every other week, but we air every Saturday just so we can re-air older episodes and keep getting eyes on those cases, because we have like a tip line and try to get people to call in and like actually solve these crimes. I think it also works too, just almost as like a deterrent. You know, you see what crime like this does to families, the real impact that it has on people, and you know how senseless some of these just like random shootings are, and hopefully somebody will see that and choose not to pick up a gun and do the next crime.
Yeah, we'll show a clip from that as well. Yeah. But you did a whole documentary on gun violence here in Chicago.
Right, yeah. So that also just started expanding to Case Files. You know, we saw what we were doing on TV, but we wanted to get even further out with that and do a bigger message. And we had worked on that team had helped out on some other documentaries too. One of the main one is not out yet, but we had worked on a documentary called Wrong Cat that is like a wrongful conviction thing that deals with Black Panthers and Peoria and Chicago and a lot of that sort of stuff. So we had documentary experience beyond just making our like TV doc. And we thought it was time to do our own, kind of generate something about Chicago gun violence in general, not just doing specific specific crimes, and kind of looking more as a whole at like, why does this problem happen? And we had a lot of experience with it doing the show. You know, we knew a lot of victims' families, that sort of things, but we don't live in those neighborhoods. We don't like experience that day to day. So we wanted to talk to people specifically who are working in those neighborhoods, who are doing things in those neighborhoods to try to improve the neighborhood, and people in those neighborhoods that had lost people. So that's what we did for that documentary. It's called Bullets Have No Names, which is based off something somebody just said natively in one of our interviews, how sometimes these things happen where they just will spray a house, spray a park or a party with bullets, and they don't have any names on them, like they could hit anybody, and so often they just hit random people that have nothing to do with the violence. So that's we've just submitted that one and another documentary that we just finished up to a whole bunch of documentary film festivals around the city. So hopefully within the next year we'll start getting those out as well.
So people can check them out, yeah,
right,
for sure.
Yeah.
But you can check out Case Files on CW right now or tonight, maybe even. This week, depending on when you're watching this.
Yeah, every Saturday at 11 o'clock there's a new episode, and then we put trailers, little promos for those episodes up on Facebook and up on our website, Case Files Chicago. And then the trailers for both those little documentaries are out now. And hopefully those will be getting into some fests soon too. So we've got a lot of little irons in the fire. We're
You've
really
got
spread
so
out,
much
but
stuff going on.
we stay busy. It's nice that I can, I know, like I was saying, a lot of other filmmakers like don't have that opportunity. So I feel really fortunate that we get to do this all of the time, and that helps just build our network stronger. And so many people have so many different little pieces to the puzzle. We've got such a big network now that we can just keep making stuff all the time.
Cool. And people can get a hold of you through your website if they have, if they want to act or if they have any ideas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're always looking for, like, bands and companies and things to do commercials and music videos and things for, because, one, we love doing that. It's a fun way to make short, creative video. But two, like, taking on side jobs like that then helps fund doing documentaries like that, doing short films, bringing other projects to life. And then a lot of times people like that, like if we work with a band on a music video, then one of their songs ends up being in a film somewhere. We just try to keep everything collaborative and crossing over. So yeah, if anybody wants a video made, if anybody wants to work on a video, if anybody just is looking for casting opportunities, our website is suburbanskiespictures.com. We're at Suburban Skies on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at info@suburbanskiespictures.com. I think that's my email address.
That sounds right.
We'll figure it out and put it down in the details of the video. But yes, people can find me, and I encourage them to find me, and let's make stuff together.
Yeah, one thing we didn't talk about was your commercial work. You've done some vacuum commercials, some attorney commercials. My favorite was the Moon Pie.
Yeah, the Moon Pie commercial we just made on spec. Moon Pie didn't approve that one for us. That was just something.
You guys just love Moon Pie so much.
Kind of on a fluke, a friend of a friend saw you could order Moon Pies on Amazon. We're like, I'm gonna get 3 Moon Pies just for nostalgia's sake, and accidentally ordered 3 crates of Moon Pies. I think it was possibly a late night intoxicated purchase, and didn't realize how many Moon Pies they were buying. So we had Moon Pies, just tons and tons of them. Like, well, we have to do something with this now. So we made a funny little Moon Pie spec commercial just to show what we can do and to do something with all those Moon Pies. And then we ate way too many Moon Pies. I'll never eat a Moon Pie again.
Yeah, wow. So swing by Out Obsessions, rent Marc's movies.
Please.
You can also check out, you said Amazon Prime, Honey Crisp is on?
Sunset Rock.
Sunset Rock.
Sunset Rock is on Amazon Prime. Honey Crisp has just finished playing in its 3rd festival. We showed at... what was our last one? Illinois International Film Festival we showed at, and it's still out in submission for some more. So once its festival run ends, we'll probably get that up on the web somewhere and make those DVDs publicly available.
But until then, you can come down to Out Obsessions and rent it.
Come grab it.
Yeah. And check out the CW for Cold Case Files.
Yeah, Case Files Chicago, CW, 11 o'clock, and come down to Odd Obsession and rent other stuff too. There's a lot of great movies down here. I love this place just as a customer. And video stores, I think they were on the way out, but I feel like they're having a little bit of a renaissance now, which is great. So if you want to be cool, there's a lot of movies down here that people forget. Like, not everything is available online. Like, people see Netflix and Amazon have these big libraries, but so many old films, and not even old necessarily, just like ones that were not the huge blockbusters, are getting lost now.
Right.
So
a lot of things have never been converted from VHS to
exactly. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about some of your filmmakers that the store has that are kind of maybe hard to get a hold of? They have a lot of international filmmakers.
Yeah, I haven't been in here in a little while, and I'm actually probably, as soon as we're done with this, I'm just gonna stand around and browse. But yeah, I love this wall over here, the Maverick Directors. My goal is to someday get my little name up on that wall, because they have things organized by director, which is so great. So you can find people that you like. I've been working through just like Terrence Malick's earlier filmography, David Lynch's earlier stuff. You find the core ones that and then go back, and there's short film collections and documentaries and little things that you don't know that your favorite filmmakers have made, but they're all here.
So you can definitely. It's a whole video hole you will fall into if you like this stuff. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Thank you, Marc.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And swing by the store, check out his stuff, and take it easy.
See you.